Can anyone hear me? Yes. Okay, I'm on. Yes? Are we good? Hi. My green's working on my screen, so let me know that you can hear me now. My husband unplugged my microphone. So tell me that you can hear me now. You can see me, you can hear me. Yes. Okay, cool. Gotta love technology, right? Always throws you for a loop. Okay, cool. So super excited you guys are here. Yay. So this is the last session. I'm a little sad because it's been kind of an amazing 5 weeks. Like, give me one word that you could say that would describe the past 5 weeks of this training series. Just one word. What's up? Kristen and Christy and Selena, hello. Carly, Stacy, Melanie, hi. Chelsea, hi. Cool. Okay, everyone can hear me. This is awesome. So give me like one word in the chat box that you would use to describe the last 5 weeks of this training. Awesome. Inspiring. Very good, Selena. Thank you. I have really tried to give you guys as much content as I can without, of course, overwhelming you and giving you, because I think some of those pieces I just can't give because it's too much stuff to give. So I think hopefully it's been, motivating, very good, eye-opening. Yeah, ignition. Yeah, you good, girl. To kind of, get that ball rolling, because what happens is you either want to build this business or you don't. And I get, yes, we want it, but in order to make that jump, to make that leap, to get involved in Business Beyond Baby and actually hire a business coach, that's when you take that pivotal, it's like a pivotal shift that happens, and everybody has it, and it doesn't happen at the same time for everybody. But it definitely happens when you just make that shift and you're like, I want it. I don't care what it takes to get it. I'm going to do it. I have to do this. That's when you know you're ready. That's when you know it's real. That's when you know it's your time to get this shit doing. So I would say there is never a right time. But when you have that inside you, that just like, it's like a fire, that it's just like this burning feeling that you have to do it, that's when you know it's this pivotal shift. And for a lot of us as women, like it does happen for a lot of women when they turn 40, it's like that whole midlife when they're like, just fuck it. Like I'm 40 and I'm going to do it. A lot of us right now, we're still wives and moms, and we're like a lot for everyone else. So for some of us, it's a little bit hard, but I would definitely say, why not now? Because when the kids go to school and all of that stuff, we're left with the oh shit moment, right? So tonight we're going to talk about the how to build an online business. And mainly we're going to talk a lot about Business Beyond Baby, because that's kind of how you do it, right? So yes, you could do it alone, and we're going to talk about ways to do that and all of that stuff, but we are going to be talking about Business Beyond Baby. So let's go back to why we're here. Let's just bring it all back from the last 5 weeks. We know we want our thing outside of being a mom. We know that we're all amazing moms, but we all know that we want a little bit more. We want something else for us, for our life, to be fulfilled. We want to make a difference in our life, in our people, in other people's lives, in our families' lives. We want to create something of our own. We have an idea, but we have no idea how to start, or even like the steps to do it. The whole idea of like trying to figure it all out scares you, because it is freaking scary, right? You don't want to be alone at your computer trying to figure out what email marketing system to use. You want to have something that you absolutely love. You want to make a profit, so you definitely want to make money, and you want to invest in yourself and level up. And when I say level up, I mean get serious. I mean stop dabbling, stop trying to figure it out on your own. Like you're really ready to just get serious and make this thing happen. So what we've learned, so we know that a passion-based business recharges you, right? So we know that it's something that when you work on it, you actually feel better. And I know a lot of you guys have been doing the 10 minutes of business every day. So how has that felt for you? Like, how has that felt when you actually worked on your business every single day since last week? Remember, we're talking about acting as if. So as if we're already successful mompreneurs, how did that feel for you? How did that feel to work on your business, whether it was 10 minutes or 30 minutes or 2 hours, whether it was a brain dump or just talking to your husband or just thinking, mapping out what it could be like? Awesome, right? It feels good. It feels fantastic. It feels, to me, it's like, I feel like something's like lifted off of me. I feel so empowered every time I work on my business. And that's what it should be, right? That's what it should feel like. So awesome. I'm glad that it feels good for you guys too, because that's definitely what I wanted. And yeah, there's going to be times when it's like overwhelming and you're going to sit down and be like, I don't know what to write. Like, I don't even know what to say. And that's normal. But for right now, it should feel super exciting and empowering and all of those things. So again, if you have solutions, then you kind of have to share that. We talked about it's a mindset shift, right? So if we know that we have something that's going to help someone, then we kind of have to share it. It's the way that we frame it in our mind to get ourselves ready to ask for the sale, because that's scary, right? That's a whole thing. 3 Ps to an online business: purpose, people, and products. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So again, it's not about the certifications, the letters after your name. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about how much you care, and the rest will follow. So it's like the chips will fall once people understand that you actually care about them, their success, how they do, right? And I think that's what makes, certain people stand out in the online space, because there are people who will go above and beyond for people. And then there are people who, like, you're not even allowed to email them. And that's, and it's a matter of people's differences and personalities, but it's definitely something to be said when you know someone truly cares about your success. You are an expert right now because you are doing it, right? You are an expert because you are doing it. I'm telling you that you're an expert. Building an online business takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a month. It does take time, but it's absolutely worth it. And the process is something that you start to love, right? Putting out your unique message, you attract the perfect customer. So we talked about inbound marketing last week. We talked about putting out content where we're drawing a line in the sand and we actually have an opinion about something, and those people come to us, and then we repel the perfect people, right? So there are going to be people who don't agree with you, which is perfectly fine. We have to act as if before it actually happens, right? So we've been practicing that for the past 4 weeks now. Being fearless doesn't mean that you're not scared. It just means that you jump anyway, right? So we talked about you should feel scared. You should feel nervous. You should feel like butterflies in your stomach. That's actually a really good thing. The difference is you jump versus you're so scared that you're actually paralyzed. So there's a big difference. We talked about that last week between fearless and fearful. And then again, create before you consume. So that's a huge one. And it's a huge mindset shift too, because right, if we're just consuming, then we really don't have time to create. We're so busy worried about what everybody else is doing that we're not actually doing anything for our business. And it's a trap. We fall in there, but it's really good to know that. And that's a challenge I'll always be placing in front of you to do that. So tonight, we're talking about the how. So we've talked about the who, the what, the why, the when, the where. And tonight we're going to talk more about the how to do this thing. So how the hell do you do an online business? So how do you do? So what do we know already? We know that we need content. We need consistent, valuable content. We know that we have to start writing. We have to start brain dumping solutions to people's problems, right? So we've talked about our problems. We've talked about people that we know's problems, and we know we have the solutions. So now we have to match those things. And that gives us the confidence to tell us that we do have a message that's important, right? We bought a domain name. Many of you have already bought your domain name, which is amazing, right? What are we going to do with that? We're going to make a WordPress site. We're going to make a website. And from that website, we're going to put in email marketing. And then we're going to develop a product or service, and we're going to sell it, right? So that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to make a sales page. We're going to put a PayPal button. We're going to do all of that stuff. So tons of moving parts in an online business, but we kind of know the steps and the order in which it takes place. First and foremost, the foundation is building that know, like, and trust factor, right? So that can't be rushed. That can't be skipped. If those things are skipped, the rest, it doesn't really matter how good the product is. That stuff, the foundation, just can't be skipped. So just always remember that. So real entrepreneurs, mompreneurs have the 3 Ps. And I'm going to give you those 3 Ps in just a second, but I'm going to tell you right now that none of them stands for permission. Nobody gets permission granted to start their online business. No one gets permission granted to put out content, to sell a product, to sell a service, right? So if we're waiting for someone to give us permission, no one's going to. We actually have to give ourselves permission to do it because we want it, because there's something inside us that tells us if we don't do it, it's going to be worse, right? Because again, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen, right? You're never going to fail if you're trying. So for me, worse would be being stuck in a place and actually not doing it, right? So we talked about that a lot in the Facebook group. So real entrepreneurs have, write this down, passion for what they're doing, the problem that needs to be solved, and a purpose that drives them forward, right? So those are the 3 Ps. And this is a really good quote from Tim Ferriss from the 4-Hour Workweek, an amazing book, which we will read in Business Beyond Baby. But this quote is from Tim Ferriss, and it says, "Someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. Pro and con lists are just as bad. If it's important to you and you want to do it eventually, just do it and correct course along the way." Like, how amazing is that, right? Because how many times have I made like a T-chart of like pros and cons? Like, I've done it a million times because I wasn't really ready to do it. So if that's where it's like, oh, but it's not the right time, but I'm too busy, but the money, and it's like, there's always something, that's when we know it's a someday. And just like Tim Ferriss said, it's a disease that will continue to recur in our lives. So just like for example, the people who say they have no time aren't willing to make the time, right? We all have the same amount of time. It's just a matter of what's a priority. So if that's something that keeps coming up, it's definitely something that's going to recur, not just in business stuff, but in all aspects of our life. It's actually something that we have to dig deep and go, why do I keep doing this, right? Like, a lot of people, like, if they see the price of something, immediately their first thing is like, oh my God, that's expensive. They probably do that a lot. It's not just with this or with anything else. It's like something that always keeps coming up. It's a money mindset thing, right? So lots of those things have to be uncovered. But I thought that was really, really a really good quote for kind of what we're talking about now. So most people are fast to stop you before you get started and hesitate to get in the way if you're moving. And that's something so important because a lot of us are scared, right? We talked about like this comparison. We talked about being called out. We talked about maybe being called a fraud. Like, I don't know that I'm really good enough to like sell this or like talk about this. And I'm like, well, absolutely you're good enough because like Selena said, the person who's doing it has the right to do so, right? You're doing it, so you absolutely do have the right. People are really quick to tell you no before you do it. So like, I'm sure some of us have experiences with husbands or friends or family members when we talked about doing an online business, right? Like, how many of you guys talked to people and actually said like, I'm starting my online business, right? Like, that was probably really scary to put yourself out there and tell people like, I'm starting an online business. Anybody do that and get kind of a negative reaction? Like, you're doing a what? What is that? Like, they're very like hesitant, right? Because they want to jump right in front of you, right? So whether it's our husband or a friend or whatever, people are super quick to do that, but they're not the ones doing it, right? But once you start doing, right? Once you start doing it and you act as if, and it's kind of like the fake it till you make it thing, right? Where you're like, I'm crushing it. They don't really say much, right? They kind of sit back and go, oh, like, what is she doing, right? And so I remember when I first posted about like Mom Beyond Baby on my personal page, people were like, yeah, that's just like another thing. And now people are like, oh my God, like, what's going on? What are you doing, right? People are all over it because they've just sat back and watched. So it's really important to just remember that like the people who are getting in your way they're just getting in your way. Like, you just can't, we have to ignore them, right? So, oh, that's so funny, Stacey. Yeah, so that's going to change, right? And we're going to dig so much deeper into that in month 1 of Business Beyond Baby, because I'm just giving you guys a teaser now. And we're going to get super into like the I teach statements and what we do and the problems and all of that stuff. But yeah, so like practice saying it out loud and describing your business. Like, mine changes all the time too. And sometimes I still vomit out my words 3 years later. I'm like, I don't know, like fat loss, like hormones, business, I don't know. And like, I just say shit. And people are like, are you just like a mom blogger? I'm like, no, I'm not a mom blogger. But sometimes, you know, and so people just don't know. So I wanted to throw that out there because I think it's super important. So what's next? What is next? Where are we going? What's happening after this training? What are we going to do, right? So for some of you, you know what you're going to do. And some of you still maybe are on the fence and not really sure what you're going to do. Some of you are just not ready, and that's totally fine. I think we have to just embrace that we're all in a different spot. But it's my job to tell you what's next. So 2 options. You can do it the confusing way, the pretty much tiring, exhausting way, and spend, countless hours and wasted energy and hours of research, thousands of dollars trying to do it on your own, incompletion of products and services and all these other things that we buy, and have a lot of unanswered questions of, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? Should I be doing this? What should I do? Blah, blah, blah. Or, as we know, you can do the step-by-step system. You can have proven formulas, a support system, screen flow trainings where, you're actually seeing someone's computer doing it, phone calls, and daily coaching, right? So you can totally do it alone, or you can invest in a coach. So the left is kind of doing it alone. Remember, I did that. I did that for a full year. And I remember how Trent said, like, it's not a matter of if she was going to do it, it's a matter of how. And so I did it that first way because, like a lot of you, I'm like, I don't need that. Like, I can totally figure it out, right? Well, a year later, I still hadn't figured it all out. Yeah, I had a website, I had a blogger, but I didn't know anything about online business, right? So, and this is what I was faced with when I started. I actually made this list of what I was doing when I was trying to do it alone, of all of the hours and energy and research and all of that stuff that I was wasting and not actually doing it, instead of just saying, this is what I'm going to do, jumping into it, because I really needed to slow down and learn the system so I could speed up, which is where I am now, right? So I bought programs, I did them, but I still needed to talk about what I was doing. I still needed to talk about my goals. I still needed to bounce ideas off people. And I didn't have that in any of the stuff that I had done previously before I actually got serious and said, like, I'm hiring a business coach. Like, this is what I need to do. So what happened was, all of the programs I didn't have like someone I could talk to and the support system and the mastermind. It was just like, here, create a webinar, and like gave me the steps to do it, which was great, but that's like such a small piece to a business. And so what happened was I ended up buying like a program for this and a program for this and a program for this. And I spent way more money than I would have if I just said, I'm just going to do the business coach, which is what I ended up doing anyway, right? So, I mean, technology, like all of that stuff done for me, that's what I needed. So, because remember, I knew I was going to do it. I just didn't know, at that point, I didn't know how. So I did try the way of my own. I did try to do it on my own. And I just realized that just wasn't, that's not what I needed. That's not what I wanted to do. So ask yourself this question: what would having a business beyond baby mean for you? So what does it mean for you? We talked about in the Facebook group, a lot of you guys listed, 5 to 10 things for what it would mean for you. Freedom, living in your truth, fulfillment, all of those things, joy, all that stuff. And so I don't want to know really what it would mean for your family at this point. I don't want to know what it would mean for your job, your kids. I want to know what it would mean for you as a person, not you as a mom, not you as a wife, but you. And that's really hard to think about sometimes, right? Because so many times we think about ourselves as a mom, a wife, a friend, a sister, a blah, 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 right? So think about what does it mean for you? So just take a second to think about that. Because remember, it's all about making that decision. It's when you have that pivotal moment and you're like, I believe I can do this. Like, I know I can do this. That's when you take that shift from like thinking about it to actually doing it and jumping and making that leap and jumping and investing in yourself, right? Investing in yourself is freaking scary, guys. I know how scary it is because I have a family too, right? I know what it feels like to think, shit, what if I invested that money and it didn't work, and like I could have like used that money for something else, right? Because that's always going to be in the back of our mind. But then it's like, how could I ever make it work without investing in myself and leveling up, right? How could I make it work if I'm trying to like piecemeal it all together? It's never going to be a system. It's never going to work in a way that it makes sense to actually make a profit, right? So now I'm going to introduce Business Beyond Baby, which is a high-touch 10-month coaching mentorship for moms and moms-to-be, actually, to create a business and life they love. So it is for people who are go-getters. So these are people who are ready, like we talked about, ready to do it. They're ready to take action. They're not scared to take a risk for what it means for them. So what it means for them is far more important than the other things like the self-doubt and the fear and all of that stuff. So that's who it's for. It's for those go-getter type of people. It's high touch, guys, like a lot of access to me and to the support system that I'm giving you. So I'm basically filtering women in, and we are in this group together. So it's something that you don't get. It's a small group, so everybody gets to know each other and you become like business besties. And I'm creating that for you, which is amazing, right? People who you do collaboration posts with and you affiliate with and blah, 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 right? So it's high touch, meaning you get a lot of access to me as your coach. You get to know me, ask me questions every single day and all of that, but it's also it's that support system too. So it's not for anyone. It's for these people. So it's people who are ready to be more, who believe in yourself. So yeah, you're going to have like mindset issues and I'm going to pick you up along the way, but I need you to believe that you need to do this. I need you to come in knowing that, to become fulfilled, ready to share your message, ready to fly. Like this little training that we've done is like, think this on steroids. That's kind of what Business Beyond Baby is, right? So again, willing to take a risk, right? So it's not just for anybody. And that's why I do applications, because I don't want just anybody. I'd rather have 10 amazing women, 30 amazing women than 100 just people who sign up and I never really get to know them. That's not what this is about. So let's talk about what we're going to learn, because I think it's super important. So it's 10 months and there are different modules. So literally we go through everything from voice, passion, purpose, Facebook and Instagram and every other social media platform, to we set goals. We talk about content. We have, we register our business. We build your entire website with plugins and widgets. We do branding. We talk about expertise. We get to know your customer, your ideal client, backwards and forwards. We do email marketing. We do copy. So I look at all of your copy. So anytime you write a blog or an email or anything, you can post it in the Facebook group and I read it. I give you your feedback. We also do copy workshops where I go to like your Facebook page and I will look to see what's on there and then we'll hash it out kind of as a group. Then we go into developing a product or service. We market. We learn how to market, because marketing is a skill, right? So we learn how to market. We actually sell things, right? So we talk about Facebook and Instagram. We talk about challenges. We do a lot of goal setting. We break it into 90-day segments. And then we talk about the in-depth launch formula. And we go into marketing, tons of marketing. Then we talk about webinars. We talk about sales funnels. We talk about Pinterest. We talk about basically everything that you need is covered in this curriculum. And it's always changing, meaning that yes, the curriculum is written, but the awesome thing is as I learn stuff, and I have a business coach who's really expensive and I buy a lot of programs. I bought tons of programs. So everything I learn, I put into Business Beyond Baby, which is an amazing thing for you guys, because you don't need to go buy a webinar program. You don't need to go buy a sales funnel program. You don't need to go buy any of this stuff, because it's already in there for you, which is it's like a one-stop shop, if that makes sense. And yes, this is all on the sales page that you'll see. So don't worry if you can't see it perfectly, just you're kind of getting an idea. This is kind of the inside to the membership site. So there's a membership site, businessbeyondbaby.com. And basically what it is, it has all of the months onto the left. And then every month you get the overview with a video of like what we're going to cover, the to-dos. So I lay out very strictly like number 1, number 2, number 3, and then I give you like other things to work on. So you're never, because it's kind of at your pace as well. Books and podcasts that are relevant to what we're doing. So I actually pick out episodes of podcasts. Now I don't just say like, okay, go listen to Amy Porterfield. Like I tell you the exact episodes that I want you to listen to. Tons of trainings and resources that are relevant to what we're doing. And then downloadables that you can print out, like checklists and things to remember. So like all of my girls now, when they're launching, they have a checklist of the launch, and they just check off like, okay, I changed my Facebook, I did this, and they still like bring it out every time they launch. because it's so valuable to have that stuff. It's not, you don't need to just remember what I said, right? So let's talk about what you get. So we talked about what you learned. We talked about who it's for. What do you get? So you get 10 months of content. You get phone calls with me, and that's very customized. So it's kind of like what you're working on at the time. Step-by-step trainings, resources, interviews, like I mentioned. So there's a lot of interviews with other industry experts that you may know in the online space. I get them on, and we talk about whatever they're doing in their business that's relevant to kind of what we're doing. Tons of downloadables, printables that you can keep forever. Books and podcasts, of course. A monthly live training with me. So we talk about whatever it is we're gonna really focus on. We'll do a live training, and then you can ask me questions. We'll do open Q&A as well. And then we have a monthly live mastermind, which is a Zoom call where we just get to know each other. We laugh, we go through what we're working on in our business, what we're struggling with, all that stuff. And it's really great because everyone really gets to know each other, right? So our kids are involved. It's kind of a relaxed, casual business meeting, if that makes sense. An in-person event. So everybody will be invited to a business in-person event, which is going to be super exciting towards the beginning of the year. That we're going to cover a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing in Business Beyond Baby. Plus, we'll all get to meet, which will be amazing. Everything I learn and implement in my business, you get. So when I'm launching something and it goes really well, I just give you what I did. I give you my swipe copy. I give you all of that stuff, not so you can copy it, but so you can see what's working and what's going well, right? I mean, if I've already done 75 webinars, I'm going to tell you how to make a slide deck, right? I'm going to tell you exactly what I want you to put in it, right? I've tried a million sales funnels. Some of them work, some of them don't. So I'm going to tell you what's working, right? Because I need to save you the time. Because remember, I've been there, done that. I'm the person who's done that for you. And then, of course, Facebook access every single day. 7 days a week, every single day, I'm in that Facebook group. And literally, you can post a blog, an email, you can ask a question, you can just creep around and read everybody's stuff. It doesn't matter, but I am in there every single day. And that's just a really great place, especially when you're launching, you're going to want that support. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, one of my girls was just launching and everyone's like, oh my God, McKenna, how are you doing? What's going on? How many people did you get? It's such an amazing support. And that to me is the priceless piece, right? So the phone calls are amazing. All of that stuff's amazing. That Facebook group is so, so valuable. Not only because you get access to me and because I'm the coach, but because you get access to all the other women. And it's not a competition. Everybody's in there to support and to lift each other up and to help build each other's businesses. Yes? Are we good? Is everybody good? Can everyone hear me? Are we good? Are we excited? Yes? Super excited? I'm super excited, even though my voice is going quickly. Cool. Okay, yes. Okay, so now the white elephant. We've got 2 levels to choose from. So we've got the mompreneur level, which is what I say the lower level, and then the mom boss, and that's 10 women only. So the mompreneur level is 5 calls, 1 start and 1 exit, and then 3 calls for business to use within the 10 months. And then the mom boss level, you get a call every single month and a VIP day with me in person or Skype that we literally just go over your business. And I know it's not going to be we're going to sit for 4 hours or whatever and talk about your business. I totally get that. We are going to break it up, but you definitely get those times with me where we're just literally, one of my girls, Bethany, one of the girls who you see on the screen now, she did a VIP day with me this year. And literally I was over her shoulder. And I was like, okay, let's move this here and put this here and put this PayPal button. She was like, oh my God. And her business just skyrocketed. And everyone's like, what is so different? And she's like, I did that day with Shira. She just was telling me everything. She was just do this, do this, do this, do this. And it was just having me over her shoulder, right? So 2 levels to consider with that. So there's 20 for the mompreneur level and 10 for the mom boss level, mainly because time, right? So 10 calls a month, that's a lot of calls plus the VIP day. So, and I really want 10 women who really, that's the next level, right? Those are the people who are all in, not looking back. So, but just know, and I put these things on there for the phone calls because I think sometimes we think, oh, I don't really need that many phone calls, but you'll be surprised how many you need and you're going to be like, oh my God, I need to talk to Shira. And you could talk to me in the Facebook group, but the call is just a little something different. So just keep that in mind as you're considering what level you want to be. So the investment, right? Everyone wants to know the investment. And let me tell you this, when I was doing this investment, and I ran Business Plan Baby last year. And so as I was redoing the curriculum and redesigning things for this year, I got on the phone with a lot of women prior to pricing it. And we talked about what it was and what was involved and blah, blah, blah. And I asked every single person that I talked to, what do you think it's worth? Every single person told me between these numbers or higher. Every 3 moms told me that if it was priced lower, they actually wouldn't do it because it wouldn't seem as valuable. Like, how amazing is that, right? They're like, if it was priced lower, I would kind of be worried that I wasn't going to get enough. Okay. So I just want you to know I put a lot of thought in. I want it to be doable. I understand like money. I get it. And I don't want your grocery money. But I definitely want you to be, take this into consideration, because it's for as much as you're getting, it's a drop in the bucket, honestly. So you're getting 20% off, right? So you're getting 20% off until Sunday. So apps open tomorrow. We're going to go over that in a second. So it's $2,000 in full or $240 a month. And that starts in January. So nothing starts now. Everything starts January. So you have 2 months, and then it's just withdrawn on the 2nd of every month if you do the monthly. And then the Mom Boss with the 20% is $3,200 or $384 a month. And that's just finance. It's just your normal 1.2% because we have to finance, and I have to pay the lovely credit card company every single time I run the card. So I'm just paying the processing fee. That's the only reason. It's just like you finance anything in your life. So, and there's 10 spots for that. So 20 at one level, 10 at the other. I definitely know they're going to fill. So you want to make sure you pick the spot that you want, the slot you want. Once one's filled, I literally will be like, I'm sorry, like I have this left or nothing, right? So, and some of the people, once I get your application, I might reach out and say like, you know what, I really think you'd be an amazing fit for Mom Boss. Like, I really think you should consider. And so we might have that conversation, but I definitely want you to take into consideration what's best for you, right? It's so much more than what you get, right? It's not really about what you get. It's not about the trainings. Yes, it's about the trainings. It's amazing, right? I'm giving you so much stuff, more than you'll ever even imagine, right? Because remember, this is my free stuff, right? And remember, you're probably thinking, if her free stuff is this good, imagine what her paid stuff is, right? It's more than that. It's more than what you get. It's what you create. You will leave with a business of your own. You will leave making a profit. You will leave with friends in the online space. You will leave with a coach who cares about everything you do, who you'll probably get really sick of after 10 months because I don't let you like just not talk to me. I'm like, where are you? What's going on? Like, what's happening in your business? So it's about what you create for you and for them. So it's not just about, yes, it's for you, it's for your family. This business is not just like, oh, let me just, throw some money into it and like just see what happens. Like, this is it. This is what could change your life, right? This is completely change my life, change my kid's life, change my family's life. And I've only been doing it. I'm going into my 4th year of business. 4 years is a drop in the bucket for what it's done for my self-confidence, my day-to-day life, and my family. I can't even describe, and I wish I could describe it even better, but I just can't, because sometimes I get like lost for words. But what I just remember the difference between when I was doing like when I was teaching, and then when I started doing Beachbody, and then to where I am now, right? And you heard it from Trent. He's like, she's a different person, right? Even though I'm still crazy. So this is McKenna, and she's in my business coaching group now, and she will be an alumni. So she has opted to go into, all my girls are going into the alumni group. So they'll be with us all year, and I'll probably bring them into our group so they can talk to you guys throughout the year as well. But just from her, when she first started, she was clueless how to run an online business. But my coaching not only created her business, but made it profitable, and she's living her dream. McKenna, so she travels with her business. Her husband's in the service, and She just had a baby this year. So she came in pregnant. She has had a baby. She just launched. She has paying clients. So talk about like making it doable. Like she's a perfect example of someone who's freaking doing it, right? She had a baby, guys. Like she had a baby in her first year of business. She just launched. She just finished her launch of her True Fit Tribe coaching, online coaching. She has one-on-one clients online, and she stays home. She's no longer going to the gym and training people and doing all of that crap, right? So it's a completely different world for her now. And I just can't even imagine that I just got to be like a small part in doing that for her, right? So how do you get in? Super important part. So applications open tomorrow morning. You will get an email saying like application is open, like yay. So you have to click on it, right? Early bird rate. So the 20%, the numbers that we just went over, plus first dibs. So again, applications are, I'm really only taking a certain amount until Sunday, November 13th. Why did I do that? Because I know that you already know if you're in. I already know that you know. You're like, I'm applying. I totally know I'm applying. Because if you know you're applying, it wouldn't matter really what I told you it was going to be. You're like, I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to do that. Just like when Trent said, we're going to find a way. Like that's what he did. It's like, we're going to find a way. That's when you know you're ready. It's not when you heard that number, like if the number scared you and you immediately were like, oh my God, if you're thinking I have to figure out a way to do that versus that's too expensive, right? So it's all about how we think about it. It just really, to me, just tells me who's ready versus when you're not really ready yet, right? So apps will open to everyone on the 14th. So I will still accept your application until the 18th, but not at the early bird rate, right? So I will accept all applications until the 18th, but if you want that early bird rate and you want first dibs on a spot, you need to get it in by the 13th. And I'm super serious about that. When I say everybody, there's at least 500 more people who are waiting to get into this. There's 250 of you in this What to Expect training. And I'm taking 30. So you guys, you can figure that out, right? So I'm a little stressed because I know I want you guys first. You have spent 4 weeks, 5 weeks with me. You're my people first. But I will say, like last year, I got some of my best people at the very last minute. So that's why I want you to act like if you know you want it, I want your application in to get the first dibs and the early bird rate, right? All those people who are notified or who are accepted will be notified on or before the 21st. And the official start date is January 2nd. So nothing happens until January 2nd, no withdrawal of money, and then the official coaching academy. I will send business bonus stuff through December, just if you want it. It will still be there in January. It's not going anywhere, but if you want to start working on some things in December and you have time, totally can. If you want to just spend time with your family, I get that too. I totally understand. So just know that you have that time. And then my last and final slide is from Bethany Jacobs, and she runs Latched and Attached. And it's basically just letting you know what Business Beyond Baby has done for her. So it's helped her start and create her business, which is what she expected. But what she didn't expect was to discover who she was, to find her voice and develop the confidence that she's never had before. So her business is amazing. I'm sure many of you know Latched and Attached. So she's one of my girls, and we've been through it all with her. So she had a launch that it went well, but not great. And then, during the launch, we were on a mastermind and we were all laughing and crying, and it's just been amazing. But since then, she has a free Facebook group for breastfeeding. She's a doula. She's a postpartum doula, a lactation consultant. So it's just been an amazing journey with her and with all of the girls, right? With all of them. Like I said, they're all doing an alumni. So they'll all be with me from now until for a full year again, which is perfect, right? It's a perfect thing. So I want to leave you guys with her because I think it's just such a great quote from what she said about Business Beyond Baby. So in a nutshell, what do we need to know? We need to know that applications open tomorrow morning, and you'll get an email. I'll also post in the Facebook group of the link. And again, that link is valid until Sunday night. So that application is valid till Sunday night. And I really won't take it after. I still take it, but not with the early bird rate. So if you want the early bird rate, you want in, let's do it, right? Let's get that application in and we'll go from there. Questions for me? Questions. Literally anything. Curriculum, money, payments, anything for me. So public speaking is just one of the things that we'll talk about. First we'll do a lot of videos, and that will help you. We'll critique those. You'll be doing a lot of Facebook Lives. You'll be doing videos. So first we'll critique all of that, and then we'll talk about the public speaking thing. So so it's definitely, it'll be a step in the business, but it's not going to be like the first thing we do, but it definitely will be something that we can definitely talk about. I love public speaking. Absolutely love it. And just being at the in-person event will totally help too. Like we'll be practicing, like talking about stuff and talking about our business and all that stuff. And that's super important, right? Because it's getting you out of your shell. It's coming to a business event, right? So, yes. So alumni is the same level of support, absolutely. And then the pricing is much lower. Yes, the pricing is lower, mainly because you're already one of my girls and it's not a lot of new curriculum, if that makes sense. So I'm not like updating the portal. I'm updating the portal always, but I don't have an alumni tab. So the price is lower for alumni, but they all thought, what they all just told me was, it wasn't something they even had to think about. It was one of those things that it really wouldn't have mattered how much I told them it was. They were doing it because after your first year, it's like they couldn't afford to not do it, honestly. That's what they all told me. So we talked about price. I'm very open with money. I wasn't always, but I am now, just because I think it's a major block that a lot of people have is dealing with money and like a money mindset stuff. So and we can talk more about that, Meredith, for sure. Will I notify everyone who's accepted on the same day or as you decide? I will notify everyone on the same day, actually. I'm not going to tell you how I notify you, but I will notify you. It's a secret. But I will notify you, and it will be on the same day. It will be a very fun day. It's one of my favorite days ever. Questions? Any other questions? Who's excited? Give me some feedback. Give me some feedback. Excited, ready? Literally, I've talked to probably 50 people already on the phone, and I have about 15 more phone calls, which is insane. Guys, I've talked to some amazing women, and it just, to me, it just makes me, I don't know, it just gets me so excited that it's just exactly what I tell you guys, like inbound marketing. Like I put out my message, I'm 100% authentic and real, and then the best people come to me. And that's kind of how I think about it. And so I just think like, I'm just like so ready. Kristen, very excited. Just to be clear, we can totally be ourselves in the app. Absolutely. Please don't be anything but yourself. You guys know I am as real as they come. I don't sugarcoat anything. So please be real and, just be you. And if I talk to you on the phone, like when I talk to you on the phone, like I told you, I already know you. Like I kind of get a vibe from you when I talk to you. And so some people I was like, no, it's not really going to be your time. And that's totally fine. So, and Stacey, don't you worry. I may just show up at your house. We might just be taking a road trip. Would you die if Trent showed up with me and balloons? Would that be amazing? I know, you would love it. So, and if you guys want to reach out to any of my alumni girls, I am happy to let you pick their brain. They would be happy to They're all in the What to Expect group now. So if you guys have any questions and you want feedback from someone that's not me, totally let me know. Like, I'm totally fine with you guys messaging them or them doing a live stream in the group or whatever. They will totally do it. So if you need any of that, let me know. And I've talked to all of you on the phone already, so I don't even need to tell you to book a call because you all have. You would die, see? Does everybody get a car? Oh, no, it's not funny, right? So, okay, cool. So I need to go get it. Are we like nervous for the selection, right? We have to go figure out what's going on. Okay, so that's the deal. Check your email tomorrow. App's open. I'm so freaking excited. I can't wait. And yeah, that's it. So we have till Sunday to get it in. I know you all want the 20%, right? Everyone wants the 20%. And then if I'm not full, we'll see what happens, right? But I am going to fill. I'm 100% sure about that. And I want all of you in it because you guys are amazing and you're already acting as if and taking time out of your night to come learn. And that's what makes you amazing. So, all right, everybody good? If you have any questions, anything, post them in the Facebook group for me, shoot me an email, whatever it is. Happy to help in any way I can. And I look forward to getting your apps. Thank you so, so much for just being in this training, being open, being willing to learn, take a risk, and let's do it. All right, you guys have a great night. Bye, guys.